Mayor Kathi Hemken from the city of New Hope joining us once again for an update. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, fine, Dave. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for being with us to bring people in New Hope up to date. Let's begin with the budget and tax levy. The process is well underway. Where are we in the process, and what are some of the numbers that people should know at this point?
Okay. Well, one of the things that happens with this budget process, we have to certify a maximum levy. In other words, we can't go above that levy number, but we could go below it if it's possible. So they presented the budget to us with a 3.4 maximum levy. The council pretty much agreed that they would vote on that tonight, that would be what's going to be set. And then after that, after we set that maximum levy, then we start looking at each piece of the budget to see if there's some things that we can reduce below that. So that it's in process. No bonding this year on anything. So the levy is mostly for wages, wage increases, and just things that go on in the city.
All right, and as we are recording this, you mentioned the date. We are recording on Monday the 24th, so that council meeting is tonight as we're recording this. Let's move ahead to elections. Speaking of numbers, you have some numbers to share of what happened during the primary election and some information as we look ahead to the general.
Well, 35% of the people voted. We thought that was pretty exciting. About 1,900 voted in person on the 11th. 2,400 voted by mail. We didn't give results of the council last week because the 4th and 5th place people were pretty close. So we wanted to make sure that everything was right. So those 4 people will be Andy Hoff, Mike Eisenberg, Austin Bergen, and Ron Stoffel. And so those 4 people, along with Jonathan London and I, will be on the ballot in November. And speaking of November, we're looking for election judges. They're recruiting for them now. We'll be doing the training in September, October, and they can work half day, full day, whatever seems to work for them. There's all kinds of precautions to make sure they're kept safe from the virus. So we're looking for people. They can go onto the website and get the number to call to volunteer to do that.
All right, that website again, you see newhopemn.gov. And let's talk just quickly about the absentee process. I understand the date of September 18th is important for people to remember.
It is. That's when you can start voting absentee. Now, some people, when they ask for their absentee ballots before the primary, ask for both ballots. So they should be seeing those ballots that first or second week in September. But they can also go into City Hall starting on that date in September, with the 19th, 18th. They can go into City Hall and they can vote absentee there. They can either bring their absentee ballot with them that they got, or they can fill out a form there and they'll be given an absentee ballot. So we can start voting in September.
Very good. Let's move over to community development. A few things around town that we've been talking about to update people on. First is Windsor Ridge. Tell us about the update there as far as houses being sold.
Well, they sold the last 2 more houses. That makes 5. So the average sale of the 5 houses is $402. $402,000. Mm-hmm. We're just really, really pleased with that. There's 3 more pending. The sales aren't pending. They're just getting the permits and they're building them. So they're moving right along with that development. It's just gorgeous.
Another thing we've been talking about in recent weeks is the Rave Awards, and you have an update for us. It looks like the turnout was fantastic.
The turnout, Dave and I are taking credit for this big turnout, by the way. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. So there were 27 nominations, the most we've ever had. The Rave Award is for outdoor, the way the house looks from the curb, outdoor appeal, for indoor remodeling, just for any effort that people are making beyond the normal effort to keep their yards and inside looking pretty. So they'll be judging those, or they did judge those on the 19th, and they'll be coming to the council meeting on September 28th to get their big rock engraved.
Fantastic. We'll pass along that information as the winners are announced. A couple other properties in town to talk about. Let's talk about a few on Oregon Avenue. Some good news here for the city as well.
Well, 53rd and Oregon, we bought that older house, burnt it down, in a controlled burn, of course. And the north house is just about, well, the north house is built. It's for sale for $380,000, and there's now starting to work on the south house. So that's an exciting scattered house program we're doing.
Let's move ahead to business updates from the city, and we want to talk again about the business networking group so people can get involved in that. When and where do they meet, and what is the usual topic of conversation at those meetings?
Well, September 7th is the next meeting. That'll be at 8 a.m. They're virtual, so you can just go to the city website and get the information on how to be part of that website. We usually have a speaker come from various places. We had the guy from the city planner who makes the calendars that come out in New Hope,
Right.
told us about the process of how that comes about, told us about the website you can go to get some free coupons and just some information about what's going on in the city. We're always looking for presenters. So if you have anybody in mind out there that might be a good presenter, it doesn't cost anything to present. You just have to let us know that you want to do that in a meeting.
Very good. City's website again has information about the networking group. Let's move ahead to Public Works and let's talk utility bills for a minute in a way that people may not normally understand. Give us a little description of the utility bill certification and what that means.
Well, if you don't pay your utility bill,
Right.
and you still don't pay it, and you still don't pay it, we have a way of collecting that, and that is by certifying that utility bill, which means that we'll put it on your taxes. But before we do that, we give you a chance to pay it. We send you letters, we tell you what the bill is, we work out some sort of plan to pay it. Of course, there's fees because you're late. So it started out at $407,000 for just this year. And now it's down to $288,000. In the end, we collect all the money, whether it goes on the taxes but it does get collected. So if you happen to get a bill and a letter, you really ought to pay it because you're going to pay it one way or another, and the fees just keep going up if you don't pay it.
All right, thanks for that understanding. One other project in Public Works we want to talk about is Northwood Parkway. And Mayor, you have some good news once again. What has appeared now?
Oh, those poor people all summer. So I drove by and they've got curbs and gutters. They're so excited. So they're going to start working on the driveways now. Of course, when they do a street like that, they do the first, 15 feet or something like that of a driveway because they have to all tear that out. In some cases, the people pay the extra money and they have their whole driveway done. And some of them, we just go up to the driveway that's there. But so that once they get the driveways in and the curbs and gutters, the next thing is they've got the road bed all graded. They'll put down some stuff, whether that stuff is, plastic or whatever they put down. And there'll be a drivable coat. And it'll look like it's a couple inches too short.
Right.
The reason for that is because they want it to settle. And then in the spring, they'll come and put the final coat on it. So it'll look like it's done from a distance, but if you have to drive over that little bump, you'll wonder, did they make a mistake? No, they'll get there. So I would think in a couple weeks, these people are going to have an absolutely beautiful road to drive on.
Well, thanks to the patience of all those homeowners in that area. Park and Rec has a lot going on. Let's begin with a movie that was happening outside, and unfortunately, Mother Nature had some thoughts about the end of that movie. Give us that update.
You never know how movies are going to end. So we were going to show Toy Story 4 at our new performance center. So we got 100 registrations and 100 people showed up, and it was just going wonderfully until the thunder and lightning rolled in. Right. And of course they had to send everybody home. So we're going to try to do Toy Story 4.1 and do it again. We have to get permission from the company that we get the movie from, because you can't just go to the store and buy a DVD and plug it in and show it to people. Apparently they don't want that to happen. So this movie was sponsored by the New Hope Women of Today, and they paid $300 for the rights to show the movie. So we're thinking, since we didn't show it all, they'll let us show it again. So keep looking at the website. It'll come out again. It looked like it was going to be so much fun until it rained on their head.
Yes, you just never know about that. Other things in Park and Rec, tell us about the youth summer ball programs. Great success.
Oh, huge success. They're over now, but really good feedback from the participants and the families. People are looking for something to do. And I know the Park and Rec department is trying really hard to keep everybody safe, and they're asking to wear masks, and they're keeping people apart. And it's something for the kids to do, and it was a huge success.
You mentioned earlier the Performance Center now at the new Civic Center Park. Let's talk about something maybe for the future, music in the park, and looking at the possibility of getting some groups. How will that work?
Well, they're working on the contracts, the agreements with the various groups. It'll be just like a movie. They'll have a live performance of singers or violin players or whatever. We've always wanted to do that, but it was just never easy with the old theater we had. This we wanted, that's why we named it the Performance Center as opposed to the theater, because we wanted it to be for performances. So all of this stuff takes time, and with COVID, it takes extra time because there's extra things we have to do. Yeah. Don't know that we're going to be able to get a concert off the ground this year yet, but know that it's coming and somebody's working on it. So pretty soon we'll be just like Plymouth, only smaller.
More information to come as the concerts do come. You mentioned a little bit about COVID, and let's talk about COVID and facilities throughout the city. You have a lot of people interested in facilities, renting facilities, but a quick reminder you have about just things might change on a regular basis because of COVID.
Yeah, they do. You know, we have that community gym over at Cooper. We have the ball fields, we have the pavilions, and all of that stuff needs to be constantly cleaned so that it's safe for people to be in. And sometimes they'll have an agreement with somebody to use it, and something different comes out of the COVID announcement and things change. So people have to be real patient with us. It isn't that we're not decisive on what we do. We're very decisive, but we have to follow the guidelines and the rules that are dictated to us through the state. So if you get another note that said, oh, you have to wear a mask or you have to do something different, just be patient with us, because we're doing the best we can to keep that space safe for everybody.
Understandable. Few final facility updates we want to give you. Let's talk about the ice arena. It has been very, very busy. They're about ready to wrap up, hard to believe, their summer season. Tell us what's been going on there.
So they have a summer finale tournament in hockey, and so that was last weekend. That was a big success. We do limit the number of people that can be in the stands, and we remind them to put on their mask and to sit apart from each other. We clean the rooms for the kids, we clean the rails, we clean everything. So they're having the Minnesota All-Star Hockey Tournament is this weekend, and that's a real big deal. And to have that at New Hope is pretty special. They're using both sheets of ice, and those guys are in there just cleaning like crazy all the time. So that's pretty exciting.
I can imagine they're busy. Final facility note we want to pass along is an update on the pool, and you have seen water there, but now I understand, Mayor, the water is gone.
Yeah, I was so excited. They put the water in, and I thought, oh, goody, it's going to open. Well, no, oh, goody. We didn't have lifeguards, so it couldn't open. And the reason the water was in there was to cure the plaster they put on the walls. Well, apparently the plaster's cured, and they drained the water, and now they're winterizing the pool, which I think is a positive thing, because that means maybe in the spring, maybe we'll actually have a pool. So we're looking forward to doing that. We're ordering the equipment. We're ordering the supplies we need. We need lifeguards, of course, and they need to be certified before we can use them. So the American Red Cross has to certify those lifeguards so we can hire them. I'm hoping that pool opens.
Let's look forward to that, hopefully next spring. Final couple notes, we want to mention the In Focus photo contest. Great opportunity for residents to step forward if they have an eye for photography. Tell us what people can do.
Well, every year we've opened this, and we've shown the pictures at the farmers market, and it's so nice for people to be actually to look at them, to vote on them. And this year, because of COVID, so many things came to a screeching halt. Yeah. Partly because we didn't have staff working at the city all of this time. Well, now we're back to full staff, and they're going to do the In Focus photo contest. The deadline is October 16th at 4:30. So the categories are people and families, city landmarks, wildlife, and nature. And just like always, go on the website. You can fill out the form. You can send the photos in, and we'll judge them sometime after the 16th. We won't be able to show them at the farmers market because it'll be over by then, but we will have the pictures in City Hall. So if you want to see them after the 16th, you can come in there and see them.
Very good. And I'm sure available on social media and the website as well, newhopemn.gov, that website. You mentioned the farmers market. Give us a quick preview of what's coming up for the market.
Well, we are going to be open the Labor Day weekend. That was kind of a debate, but so we are going to be open this coming Saturday. One of the things that happened was the Cooper Craft Fair, along with a lot of other craft fairs that are indoors, have decided not to have the craft fairs. So the farmers market has stepped up and said, well, we'll have an outdoor craft fair. So it's going to be the 19th, the 26th of September, and that first weekend in October. I believe that's the 3rd. They're looking for maybe 40 to 50 vendors. If you're interested in being a vendor, go to the market website and you can fill out a form if you want to be a vendor. If you just want to buy the stuff, show up on those dates and they'll be there. So we're trying to fill those little gaps whenever we can.
Very good. You see the market's website there on the screen. And again, the city's website for all of the other information we pass along, newhopemn.gov. Mayor Hemken, thanks so much again for your time. And we look forward to talk to you again next week.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Have a nice state fair, non-state fair weekend.
Yes, you as well.
Yeah, bye-bye.